Mama always told me that I just had to pray to God. All the feelings inside of me could then be resolved. For the longest, I thought I was crazy. I felt like I was alone. Never felt like my thoughts had a proper home. We don't talk about it in ours. Mental illness is for the whites, but I'm brown as can be. Feelings of constant anxiety for shit that should be normal functionality. Finally going to therapy, embracing all parts of me, even this side. A part of me that I no longer want to hide. My name is Teresa Sophia, and I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. And I am a rapper slash poet slash activist. All day on the block, I'm just trying to de-stress me. I guess this all started when I was in Harlem one day, and I was on 125th. I was walking down 125th, and I just felt like everyone on the street looked really stressed, and they looked like they had tons of stuff on their mind. They weren't present. They weren't in the moment. Their minds were elsewhere. I don't know where their minds were, but I felt like I wanted to know, and I wanted to get their minds away from where they were. So I was like, one day I will come out here with a sign that says, "What's on your mind?"
What was on my mind is basically God is always on my mind. Right now I'm having girl problems. She's on my mind. I want to fix my relationship with my girl, my mother, my family, and my career. Those are the things that's on my mind. I'm trying to do my best.
To be a better person, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm a good person, period. I'm just revolved around certain people that I've had my own problems, but I'm trying to better myself, period.
Feeling black men and poorer black people, I'm just feeling our pain. Like, the dislocation. I see the men on the streets in every single city you go. It's the same thing. Like, it's some sort of like a virus. The same exact perimeters. And it's just like, why? How could that be possible? That the same exact things could happen in the same exact way all across the United States? Like, it was put in the water or something. You know, so I'm feeling it every time I see our brothers out here and they're homeless, and I know a lot of them want to work, and it's like I'm feeling that.
I'm just really going through a lot right now. You know what I mean? The struggle.
The struggle.
Yeah.
What's your struggle? Because everyone's struggle is different.
Yeah. Well, I don't have nowhere to live. You feel me? Yeah. And my mom is gone. My dad is gone. It's hard right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you aware of like any resources that are out in Harlem for you to take advantage of?
Yes, I know a whole bunch, but it's just most of those resources out here, like up the block this way. Up the block this way, they have a program called Streetworks, and you age out at 24.
Okay, and you've aged out?
Yes, I'm 24 years old.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a lot of programs is for most of the youth.
The idea sparked in Harlem, but I was still living in Boston at the time. So the place that felt most natural to me was to go to my home city first and to do it where I was most comfortable, even though I got the idea in Harlem. So I went to Boston, specifically Dudley Station, because it's a transient area. There's people coming in, there's people leaving, and it's predominantly a place where Black people are. So I went there with my sign. I was super, super nervous. I didn't know what the outcome would be, but I just felt like in that moment, that was what I needed to do, and that's what my spirit was telling me to do, so I did it. And then the first time I went out there, it was slow in the beginning, but once people started coming in, back to back to back. And then people would really just be honest and candid and open to me about whatever they were thinking. And the topics that we talked about ranged from homelessness to domestic violence to, at that time, the current state of the election, before we elected Donald Trump. And just like anything. And oftentimes the conversation would go back to race. So I felt like as I was doing it, it snowballed into something even more meaningful, even more deep. The more I went out there, the more I saw that what I was doing was connected to mental health. The more I went out there, the more I was seeing the distress in predominantly communities of color. So Dudley is one of the, I guess, more poorer neighborhoods in Boston. It's predominantly people of color. And like I said, it's a neighborhood within Roxbury.
I want to say maybe it was more than 10 years ago. Wow. I think I was in high school, and I was thinking it would be fun to walk around with a t-shirt that says, "Hello, my name is," and just, what's yours? And I was like, that'd be cool. I feel like people don't talk to each other. I would feel like I'd walk around and smile at people, and I'm one of those people that, I'll see someone's shoes and be like, "Oh my God, those are so cute," and I'm just talking, and people are like, "You don't even know her. What are you talking about?" That's what people need to do. So I said, maybe I should do that. It's something fun, but it was something that wasn't necessarily a passing fancy, but it also wasn't something that came to fruition. So when I saw your sign, I was like, oh my God, someone else in this world had the same concept and idea. So I was like, if she's as crazy as I am to go out there and do that, then there must be like this. I have to get in touch with her. So I was like, I was on it before I even reached out to you. So.
When I seen the sign, you were holding it in Dudley Station, I was really impressed that someone actually took time out to ask people how their day was, because it doesn't happen often. So I was really shocked to see it.
Take a closer look at, like what makes me tick, like how am I thinking? And what is it connected to? Is there a link to something? Is it something that I can understand that will help me understand myself? So that's why I stopped when I seen the sign. What's on your mind? I thought that was kind of revolutionary a little bit, because people were so caught up in what's going on with them that they don't really share with another, unless they have some connection to it. And it's a family or a friend or somebody they know. And we miss out on a lot of opportunity to network and to build and to connect, and to expand, because we isolate and we don't want to share. And a lot of stuff that's on our minds, sometimes we're not too inclined to even express, So the sign caught me, reeled me in, I bit, here I am.
I think the process of people first looking at the sign is just confusion as to what they're reading. I feel like I can see people looking at the sign, then like reading it again, then reading it like again to make sure that like they understand. And then after that, like people tend to give me either like a blank face, just because usually I feel like that's because they're just like continuing the motion of their day, just going back to the reason why I did this. They see it and then it just either doesn't resonate with them, or it does and then they smile at me and they talk. But because it's something that I guess they don't see often or ever, it's confusion. I moved to New York, started working in Harlem, and then I started carrying my sign in Harlem and seeing what the response would be out there. And it was pretty much similar to Boston, in that people were speaking to me and talking to me about whatever was on their mind.
Opportunity for,
and they're being displaced, and all the systemic racism, all the way that we built this country, and then they didn't pay shada, and now it's like every place you go was the same shit. So I'm really disgusted.
Stop my bad habits. We all have bad habits, down to like biting my nails, little things like that. It's like I feel like once you reach a certain age, you're stuck with your ways. And I'm almost about to be 30 years old, and I'm a little bit getting spooked out, but I have a lot of faith and I have big dreams and big goals. That's what hold me back. I have big goals and I don't, I can't see them now. It's becoming a little bit harder. And you know what, like I said, I have faith. And one of the things that keep me going is, this is one of my things that I always say, everything happens for a reason. That's why I'm still breathing. So, that mainly was on my mind right now.
When I'm in the train panhandling, like just try to ask for help, a little bit of change. To eat something during the day, just like during the day. Oh, go get a real job. This and this and that.
You can be homeless at any time,
right,
especially in this economy. You could have degrees of that
right,
and still be homeless, especially
And you know what's so funny? I have my high school diploma and I have my master's degree. I have my master's degree in criminal justice because I wanted to kind of be one of them, but I didn't want to directly be one of them. I wanted to be the one that's like to catch all crooked cops that's killing innocent people and hurting us for no reason. That's the type of cop I want to be. To put all crooked cops in jail, the ones that's becoming the law just for nothing.
Enforcement, these are public servants, and they are entrusted with our betterment, our welfare, our health, and it's over and over. Sean Bell, Eric Garner, the list goes on.
How does that make you feel as a person of color, especially a man of color? These people that look like you are being shot and being targeted.
It's a travesty. It's a travesty, and besides that, I'm a U.S. veteran. I'm a U.S. veteran, so that exacerbates my feeling towards that. Because I was, it was ingrained in me to fight for this country, to cherish this country, to give my life for this country, and that was my mindset for decades.
Have served 5 prison sentences. Wow. And throughout the duration of that, I went through I've seen a lot of stuff in the street.
Were these like all drug-related charges, if you don't mind me asking?
No, some were drug-related in the beginning. I had one for burglary, because I was using drugs. I had one weapon possession charge and a drug conspiracy charge. So, however, being in the system and the abuse that goes on in a system, be it inmate or correctional officer, was bad. At times I felt like I had committed suicide. I felt like I didn't have nothing to live for.
With my project, I do see similarities between Dudley and Harlem. I see very similar needs. So I feel like the topics that people have been coming up to me about, like homelessness and just feeling as if, specifically as a Black man, because I feel like a lot of Black men talk to me in the streets, feeling as though they want their voices to be heard more, feeling as though as Black people we need to be more connected, we need to mobilize more, feeling that there's something missing, that there's more that can be done for us specifically to mental health, just like a lack of resources. So I think that, I guess, probably in every city would be some of the things that I come across, but between Boston and Harlem, I definitely see that similarity in the people that I talk to, which is they have the same needs. I feel like I get a lot of men. I think for the first reason is probably because I am a female. So I think that makes it easier. I feel like if it was another man walking with the sign, it might be harder for them to express themselves to another man, just because of masculinity and the stigmas that go along with our society about men and not really opening up about their emotions. So to do that with another man, in their eyes, is probably just something that they wouldn't do. So I feel like because I'm a woman, people feel like it's easier to open up to me. That's why I get a lot of men.
I spoiled myself, and I took the wrong route though. So I ended up, it's like a game. You lose, you end up back in the beginning.
Yeah.
But you know, at least even in the game, you have the experience. Like,
so you know,
yeah, so you know, like I know what's coming. I see the
yeah.
rock there. I'm not gonna trip over that.
Exactly.
You know, it might look different. It might be a banana this time.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
That's
it's
a good
there.
analogy.
So
Yeah.
you jump over it. So I think I'm a little bit prepared to reach my goals. Like, that's all I want to do. I want to just write music, I act, I do a little bit of everything. So I'm trying to put it into one.
Okay, have you ever heard of this? That most brothers and sisters that joined the law enforcement that either been picked on most of their life or had something happen to them, like
they're bullied.
Right.
So they get power.
To take advantage of their own kind.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna keep it honest with you. Last night I'm on the train. Literally, I'm on the train making money all night. Here come an officer. Going like this. Excuse me, sir, come in. Searching me, asking me questions. I'm like, excuse me, what is the problem?
And this was a cop of color.
Yes.
A black one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, so I'm like, he's this is what he said. He said he thought I was a person of the person he was looking for. So
happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, when you're a target.
Right.
I need real help. I have real issues. You know, I've been born and raised right around the corner. I've seen men lying down with gunshots in their head. Heroin addicts being pulled out, dying on the street. I've seen men in crack spots rape women, beat women up. I've seen a lot.
Excuse my language, but any of that is gonna f a person up.
Yes,
Yeah.
and to them it's like, oh, it's like nothing. No, this shit still racks in my brain in my sleep.
Like, when did you feel like, to use your words, crazy? When do you feel like you started?
You know, I feel like I started going crazy.
Yeah. What triggered that?
I think what triggered it is when a lot of black men started getting shot by police. Something just started triggering in my brain.
Yeah.
And, you know, it became an unsafe world out here.
They haven't gotten the opportunity for someone to ask them what's on your mind. It's just like, I feel like once they see that, they're just like, it's like word vomit. So they really feel like they want to express a lot of things that they've been thinking that they haven't had the opportunity to naturally release, because we live in a society where it's not as natural to just go out and talk about it. You have to be kind of probed with questions, like my sign, to express that information, especially to men.
I want free flights to Africa, cause that's where they took us from. Hands tied, head to the gun. My niggas couldn't run cause they Dylan Claybo was a trained mass shooter. Columbine Columbus with his 9 on their Nina. On my knees praying to Santa Maria. Go back to your country like we has to be here.
I think it's taboo for people to talk about like what's on their mind and mental health, because we've created a culture that makes it taboo. I feel like religion plays a lot into that, and I can speak on my own experience, and this is something that I do when I do go out into the streets, and I think it makes people feel more comfortable when I express the fact that I have generalized anxiety disorder, that I've suffered from depression, that I just am super hard on myself and overthink and have spells where I don't want to go anywhere, I don't want to talk to anyone, I don't want to do anything.
I have post-traumatic stress disorder, bipolar, and schizophrenia. Because the reason why I have that, because years ago when I was a little boy, my older brother got killed in front of my face.
Yeah.
Literally got his rings like this, click clack, wow, and his
Yeah.
hands landed in my hand, literally, in my palms.
Yeah.
His brain landed in my palms.
Wow.
Literally, I felt people like this.
Wow.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to cope.
Did you go see anyone after that? Have you ever seen a psychiatrist, therapist?
Yo, get in the camera, bro.
In 2012, as being a schizophrenic, Antisocial personality disorder, split personality disorder, and the other axis, I believe what they said I had was prison. All that coupled together. And when I filled out my application, they denied me to this very day. And it's sad because they're not helping us. They're really not. You know, it was in the paper, Bloomberg had this article about mental health, and just the other day, they shot the mental health lady. They shot her. She had a baseball bat. The lady, yes, the lady Eleanor Bumpers, they blew her fingers off, shot her with a shotgun. Because the police and these people are not trained to deal with mental health.
Personally, my religion, I grew up Catholic, and there were times where I told my parents that I felt like I wanted to talk to someone. I wanted a therapist. I wanted just someone to express all these things that were going on in my head that I felt like I couldn't talk to my friends about, that I felt like I couldn't talk to my parents about, just felt like no one would understand, and just needed someone who didn't know me so I could just really divulge like all the information. But every time I expressed that to my family, it was always like, just pray. If you pray, you'll be fine. Just talk to God about it. Leave it all in God's hands. So when you have that kind of response to someone saying they just want to talk, something as simple as I want to talk, and then you automatically label that as crazy, or you automatically label that as some negative term, that's what makes it taboo. That makes you not even want to say, like, and then there was a point where I kind of just was like, I don't even want to say it anymore because I know what the response is going to be. I know it's going to be negative. I know it's going to lead to religion. And just in my adult life, that's something that I've been pursuing. And despite the fact that for so long I was afraid to, because of the fact that there's so much stigma attached to seeing a therapist in our community.
Stigma still instills fear in a lot of people to come out. So it's kind of like, I feel a certain way, and then someone else is kind of like, well, you know, instead of it just being, yes, I feel this way, let's talk about it.
So it wasn't something I really talked about, and I don't think that I felt stigmatized by it. I just think because people in my community didn't talk about it, it just felt normal not to talk about it at all.
Courage to be able to speak openly about what you're feeling, and that when you get to the social work part, and usually I work with adults, you know, they're ingrained in that religion, they're ingrained in that culture of not saying anything. So then it leads to bigger problems because we have to really kind of dig through what's going on, and it's a challenge. It's a real challenge.
Well, I used to go to therapy, you know what I mean? But it just, this one therapist portrayed my confidentiality. That's what made me not trust no other therapists.
Was it because like you were having like suicidal thoughts? Because it is
no suicidal thoughts, none of that.
Not harming yourself in any way.
Look, how is this? This is the one thing that how in the world you gonna tell another somebody else's family about me, about my family, of a whole situation?
Yeah, that is breaking confidentiality.
Right. And my heart was like this. My heart was like this until it happened. It said,
What was the psychiatrists? What did they look like? Were they a person of color? I'm curious.
Italian.
They were Italian. That's another thing I do feel. I feel like just like when we talk about cops, there should be cops that reflect us, that come from the same circumstances as us, so they can relate to us. And I feel like therapists and psychiatrists should.
When people call me, they'll say, hi, you know, I'm not trying to be racist, but like I'm like really excited that you're black, and I say it's okay, it doesn't mean anything, and I completely understand. So the fact that I look like them helps them out a lot. They're able to open up better, and then I grew up in Boston, so I'm really familiar with the population, so people really connect with me that way.
I've worked with a lot of people of color in the past before. I've worked uptown in Washington Heights. Right now I work up on 147th. I work with children. And you're right, there is a taboo with other cultures not speak about mental health issues, and it causes a big problem. You know, at least in my culture, in American culture, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. People can freely discuss their mental health issues. There's TV shows, there's books, there's movies, and I don't see it that as prevalent in other cultures.
I really feel like there is a need to have more outlets similar to this. I really feel like we can take what I'm doing and put it on a larger platform, a grander scale, so that this is more of the norm. We can normalize the conversation about mental health. We can normalize the conversation about feelings and emotions. We can normalize even just talking to each other.
But I would find myself writing or listening to music a lot. And it wasn't until I got to college and found out about this thing called psychology, and what I was doing wasn't working. So I said, well, let me try a therapist, and I tried it, and it worked, and I enjoyed talking to her. I learned a lot about positive thinking, and so with my clients, I use that concept with them, and for some reason, it works, and they get it. So
I never actually had an official therapist, or I had some time with a professional therapist. That's what they do. I've been fortunate to meet people that were enlightened and competent, and qualified to sort of play in the role of a therapist and engage with me about me and open up to them and being honest, and kind of vulnerable, so that they could reach in and connect with me, and that was very helpful.
How do you get over those barriers working with people of color? How do you kind of, because just talking to you, I sense a spirit that's very inviting and warm, so I can see why you have personal characteristics that connect to people, but I know when they see you, they see a non-person of color, so how do you get over that?
I appreciate that, thank you.
No problem.
It's basically you have to rely on your social skills, and make sure that you're seen just as another person. I know there's a lot, when you're a social worker and you're white and working with people of color, there's already a barrier right there, because people of color don't think that you know what you're talking about, and honestly, we don't know what people of color have been through too. So there's a little
so happy you're admitting that. Okay.
there's a barrier there, no doubt. I've seen that. I've been in the social work field 10 years, and there's that misunderstanding between both sides.
So I guess my end goal is to just mobilize what I've been doing and create more platforms for people to do the same work. Keep going out there, just learn from trial and error, learn from the feedback that I get from other people, so that other people can do this, so that this can be normal, and that we can create a shift and a change in the communities.
I feel okay. I feel a little bit better because I'm talking to, I got good energy from y'all out here doing big things at the end of the day. And I feel good expressing myself. Well, I feel like I'm talking to the right people.
Yeah. Talked about your struggle, and I just want to know how you feel after, even just expressing that in that short amount of time.
Relief.
You feel better?
The more I talk about it, the more I want to put the word out to the world. So people can know, look, us people that's still out here on the streets, we're somebody. just because somebody's smoking crack, just because somebody's sniffing dope or doing cocaine or whatever, they are still somebody at the end of the day.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
Talking about it.
Yes, I feel really good talking about it, because no one really, I always feel like nobody cares. So today I feel really good because y'all actually care. And you want to film this and let my voice be heard.
Yes.
To understand how we, brothers and sisters that have mental issues, we're not crazy. We don't need to be isolated. We don't need to be shut down. We need to be heard.
y'all keep doing what y'all doing and go out here and talk to the people and see what's on their minds. You know, because in this day and time, a lot of people got a lot of things on their mind, and it's not necessarily good. You know, some of it's good and some of it's controversial. You know what I'm saying? But we all need outlets.
Where my mind at, heart's racing, ain't stuttering, mind still debating. What should I say? I ain't saying enough. What should I do? My chest is tensing up. I just wanna grab my clutch and go, but the voices in my head keep telling me no, stay here. This is where you belong. Your heart's gonna tell your mind it's been wrong. Relax and breathe, chin up, head up.